Silicon Valley, technology, art, green, and sustainability.
Welcome to Silicon Valley Tech, Art, Green, and Sustainability. Today I have with me a young man that I met at the San Francisco Flower and Garden Show, and then we keep bumping into each other. Alan Hackler, am I pronouncing it right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and you do landscape design.
Yes.
And your display was amazing at the garden show. I missed the thing that was right down the street from my house that you did as well. It was a community event. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm a landscape contractor. Focusing on ecologically appropriate designs. We focus on using California Native plants, a lot of edible plants in our designs as well, using techniques to incorporate reused material, salvage material, on-site materials, keeping water on site with using gray water systems, rain harvesting systems. It's kind of the focus of our designs. Sort of our specialty.
So what about you?
Did you go to school locally,
So are you from California?
Yeah, born and raised in San Jose. Okay. I went to school at St. Francis High School and then San Jose State.
Okay. Yay, San Jose State.
Yeah, yes. Finished in 2008. So that's kind of...
And what did you go to schoul there for?
Got a degree in environmental studies. Actually, that's interesting, I should say that.
Environmental studies?
Environmental studies, yeah.
Okay.
So I ended up leaving San Jose State before I finished my degree. I think that's kind of sort of what kind of phased me into my business. So I was about a couple classes away from graduating, and I got to a point where I could
afford
afford to even stay in school, and it was a matter of, am I going to take another loan
hard.
or start my business?
I had like 2 or 3 jobs when I went to San Jose State, and I think I finally broke down my last semester and took out one student loan because thesis papers and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's a challenge to work and go to school.
It was a challenge, and so that's kind of, I got to a point where I needed to find a way to pay my school, so I started my business, and it got to a point where I just was like putting all my time towards my business, so I figured.
And you worked with our friend Alrie for a while.
Yes,
Did you work with her in college, or?
That's actually kind of funny. That's how I got really interested. I was taking a lot of at De Anza before I went to San Jose State. I took a lot of classes there in California ecology. That was my first introduction to native plants, and I took a class on plants and culture for my degree. And one of the books that we used, one of our textbooks, was Alrie's Native Plant book, and it was on native plant design.
Really?
And so that was sort of my first introduction to
It's
actually...
It's a huge book too, so it's just like that thick.
Yeah, it's good though. It's really good for a homeowner or first person really getting into using native plants, because she's a really amazing designer and she uses a lot of really artistic designs, and so really kind of, that was my real first introduction to not just appreciating native plants, but how they can be used and incorporated into a garden and why they're important and kind of the role they play.
Well, let's pull up the first slide now of one of your slides, which is amazing. I love this. This was my favorite slide out of all of them.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Tell us about this.
Yeah, so this was a garden that we did in San Jose, just off of Winchester. And the homeowner had a couple existing redwood trees. And so she really wanted to kind of create a landscape with plants and a feel of like a redwood forest.
So what are we looking at on screen here?
So,
those are redwood stepping stones?
Yeah, those are rounds. So it's just a log that was cut into small little pieces and then set as stepping stones.
And then to the right there, the white down at the bottom.
The white is the last little bit of a dry creek. It's a term.
Okay, we get to
yes, a term used for a way of incorporating your downspouts, which are your gutters, and incorporating it so you're keeping all the water on site. So it makes it look like a creek you might find.
So it doesn't run off to the street. It
Exactly.
stays there and helps
on-site,
irrigate your property when you have a dry creek.
Yeah, it has multiple benefits. One, you're using the on-site water that's falling on your roof from the rain to water your plants.
Okay.
You're recharging local aquifers. You're reducing the amount of water flow that flows over concrete into our gutters. And what happens when it goes over concrete? It's picking up particulates, oil, gas, pollution, and that's dragging it to the water.
That would be my backyard right now. Big pavement.
So, yeah, so you always want, our goal is to always reduce hardscaping and not having to make the ground more permeable, so it can hold and control water versus concrete, which just causes more erosion, less on-site usage of water. So
and something like that, if you have the water spreading out more evenly, it helps with actual not flooding once more rain does come,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's pull up the next slide too.
Yeah, it's their display at the garden show.
So this is the San Francisco Flower and Garden Show. Now, did this go somewhere after the garden show?
It's in my backyard.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay, so we won't mention pricing, but that's up for sale then probably.
You know what, it's got a lot of sentimental value now, so I kind of want to keep it. And we use actually
Did you build it just for the show?
Just for the show, yeah.
Okay.
And so
I can't even imagine how long that took to...
The actual construction of all the pieces took about 4 months, maybe 6 months to really design, kind of get everything. We had to source a lot of the materials, so finding the redwood, going to pick it up, mill it, harvest it, and all that.
So that was all redwood?
That was all redwood, for the most part, all salvage redwood.
And then you painted it red or whatever?
So that front part was those are garage doors.
Oh.
Those are all reused garage doors, that front facade on that.
How sustainable is that? That's great.
Yeah, and we actually found, so we get the garage doors from a garage door installer. And so as they install new garage doors, they take the old ones and they just stack them up on the side of their building. And so we go over there, and as they bring them in, we just kind of scavenge for the good ones. And they usually leave them in nice big pieces, so a lot of times we find ones with stained glass in there, or some really intricate old design or pattern.
So this is not the first one you built like that?
No, we built some other ones, yeah. We've used those garage doors to build all kinds of different things. Raised beds, we've made like little signs out of them.
Interesting.
We're trying to make some chicken coops out of them, and it's almost limitless. And you can make garden sheds out of them, really, rabbit hutches, composting bins, almost anything.
So let's pull up another slide here, and this one here is, I think, another favorite of mine.
Yeah.
Tell us what that is.
Yeah, so this was, this is in front of Spots, and it's a dog care facility off of De La Cruz Boulevard. And so they do dog sitting.
So San Jose, Santa Clara?
Yeah, right by the San Jose airport, literally across the street from the airport. And so
you built that? Yeah,
we built that. So the idea was they wanted to, so they do dog boarding. When you go out, if you're going on a trip, you can drop your dog off, and then you can come pick them up when they come back from your trip. And so he wanted to. People drive by so fast, and people drive by normally never notice this building. And the front had this really large, overgrown junipers, and you couldn't see the front entryway, and it just looked terrible. And so people would come by and say, "Wow, I see this place every day. I drive by every day, but I've never seen it." So he wanted to improve the front of the building and make it more dog friendly, dog appropriate.
So it's a dog ramp?
Yeah, so we actually, you can't see in that picture, but there's a whole other accompanying garden that goes with that, and it's a dog-friendly garden.